really wild. You know, in Georgia, we just go and vote in a primary. But you guys have this caucus system, and I had to learn all about it just a few months ago so I could understand what you go through. I'm a competitive person, so I think it's pretty awesome. And I am expecting you guys, I'm counting on you guys to turn out. And I never got tired of winning. And I think we need some more winning. And America's losing right now. And none of us like it. And it's been a shocking experience the past few years, ever since the Biden administration took over in Washington. But I want to go back in time a little bit. I want to tell you a little bit about me and tell you why I support President. And pretty much looking at Washington saying that they're the cause of all of our problems. And then when President Trump ran in 2015 in that primary, that was the first time I ever saw a political candidate stand on a presidential stage and speak a language that I understood. He talked like regular Americans. First term as president in 2017, I was really excited. We had the White House, we had a Republican-controlled House of Representatives and a Republican-controlled Senate. And from our new president, but also from our Republican-controlled Congress, am I right? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'll tell you my personal story. I was pretty let down by those Republicans in those first 2 years under President Trump. See, this is a little common thing. I travel the country a lot, and I talk to people just like you. And I relate to you because I am literally the same as you. And in those first 2 years under President Trump, the Republican-controlled Congress did not fund and build the border wall. Weren't you disappointed? Yeah. Me too, because I went to Trump rallies and chanted, "Build the wall." There we go. Then something else they didn't do is not only did they not stop abortion, but they funded Planned Parenthood at $500 million. That happened under a Republican-controlled Congress. I could not believe that. It was outrageous. Another thing they didn't do is they didn't even repeal Obamacare. They did not urging them to do these things. And then what happened in the 2018 midterm elections? Well, Democrats took control, and I'll never forget Nancy Pelosi taking a hold of that gavel, right, in 2019. And then we watched President Trump under the exact same Democrat-led attacks. Democrats love democracy so much, they're willing to destroy democracy in order to supposedly protect democracy, right? And they started it back then. Russia, 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 right? Blah, 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 blah. President Trump's a Nazi. Democrats think they think half of the country does not matter. And then what else did we deal with? Oh, impeachment number one, right? Impeachment number one. And then we had impeachment number two. It's outrageous. It has been outrageous. And I have to tell you, I ran for Congress. Make America Great Again agenda. That's why I ran for Congress in 2020, because I wanted to be someone in Congress that didn't fail my voters and my constituents, that didn't fail the American people. I wanted to actually deliver on results. And I truly hoped it would be President Trump. And then there was about a stolen election. Oh wait, hold on. Like, elections are perfect. At least that's what they claimed in my state of Georgia. Perfect elections, right? What a joke. What an absolute joke. You know, Stacey Abrams ran for governor in my state twice. And then she claimed her election was stolen. And everybody backed her up. Mainstream media, a bunch of Democrats, yeah, they stole the election from Stacey. But they're taking their top political opponent off ballots in multiple states. That's how you protect democracy. unbelievable. And then don't even get me started on people like Fannie Willis in Georgia. Bless her heart. I mean, she's not politically motivated at all. It is unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. So let's talk about this election a little bit. Now, there's one thing that we can all identify with, and this isn't a Republican issue. Let's talk about inflation. And how did we get this inflation? Well, you know, when Democrats shut down the country, what did that do? That shut down business. And then Nancy Pelosi and all the Democrats that I unfortunately have to work with all got together and decided to do all these massive COVID stimulus bills. And they spent $7 trillion. Well, what did that do? Pumped a bunch of money into the economy. It's no wonder inflation is out of control. Absolutely out of control. And you want to know what that's doing? That has independent voters and Democrat voters too actually ready to vote for President Trump. Because there's one thing, right? View and Jimmy Kimmel on his late night show that nobody wants to watch, there is no amount of lies they can tell that are going to convince people that they actually have more money in their wallet. Am I right? Because inflation does not lie. Those prices at the grocery store, those prices you have to pay for gasoline and diesel fuel. Oh, but wait, they don't want you to have gas or diesel fuel. You people are supposed to buy electric vehicles. Yes, you are. AOC said. I mean, don't we only have 6 or 8 years or something before the earth explodes because of climate change? God love her. But can you believe this is where we are? You can't lie to people about their bank accounts and their wallets. And under President Trump, we had 4 years where our dollar went a lot further than it barely goes anywhere right now. And do you want to know why? I can tell you why, and you know this reason why. He's a successful businessman. Botox, let me tell you, is not going to cover up the fact that I'm almost 50 years old. Okay? Can you believe Joe Biden has been in Washington for over 50 years? He doesn't know it. He can't remember. But yeah, he's been there that long. Jobs in your businesses and whatever you've done in your careers. It's these idiots in Washington that can't figure it out. And I can say that because I work with them. They're so incredibly stupid. It's true. It's true. Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million or something. Y'all, I've been to Mar-a-Lago quite a bit. It is not worth $18 million. It's worth a lot more than that. But they want to demean and hurt and destroy them. They want to hurt the beautiful business, the currency. You can turn that switch off. Don't worry, the party that's defending democracy would never do that, never abuse their power, would they? We need President Trump back in the White House because there's no one we can trust more with the economy and our inflation, interest rates, and our dollar. I'm telling you, I wouldn't trust anybody else. Now let's talk about something else. This is a very serious issue. How many veterans do we have in here? God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. God bless you. Now, Washington, D.C. has an addiction. No, it's not drugs and women and men. They might have some of those addictions too. They have an addiction to war. Washington has a sick addiction. Foreign. No, they don't care about defending our border. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. No. Our border doesn't matter to them. Everyone else's border matters. No, it's true. And I have not voted to fund a single penny to the Ukraine war. I didn't do it. And let's be real. Kim Jong-un, little rocket man, firing off rockets. And he'd fire off another rocket. And then the media is trying to terrify everybody. Oh, Kim Jong-un, World War III, rockets and nuclear weapons. Remember all that? Missiles, missiles, missiles. It was every other day, Kim Jong-un's firing off rockets. What did President Trump do? He went over there, crossed the line, and went and shook the man's hand. And then what happened? No more rockets. That is unbelievable. That's something the media and the Democrats want you to forget. Nikki Haley wants you to forget it so bad because she can't wait to go to war with everybody. She's a neocon. She's a Bush in heels, let me tell you. And it's not that pretty. Under President Trump, we had world peace. We would not have Russia and a Ukraine war right now. And besides, here's the little secret that they want you all to forget, that you don't know history. That's been a civil war going on for years. But now Washington decided to fund it, take it over, and fund the murder of all these people and fund that war because they love the profits. They love the profits. The military-industrial base loves the profits. No. Exactly. You've been there. You served in Vietnam, right? Yeah, my father was a Vietnam vet. And how many of our Americans were drafted to Vietnam and made to go fight in a war? It wasn't our country. It wasn't our border. Washington never changes. They love war. But thankfully, President Trump gave us world peace, and that's why Washington hates him the most. He didn't buy into it. He bought into America. I buy into America. That's one of the very big reasons I support President Trump. I don't want our sons and daughters sent off to fight for some other country's border, for some other country's cause, and for all of us have to pay for it. For our sons and daughters, our cousins, our uncles, our aunts to come home wounded, slain, forever changed in their mind, or maybe home in a coffin with a flag on it. Enough of the foreign wars. And thankfully, President Trump, if we can get him back in the White House, Iowa, we will not be threatened with foreign wars anymore. Should never happen. Should never happen. You know, the Democrat Party also has another issue. They love identities. They love identities. They do. It's everything about your identity, except if you support Trump. Oh, you guys are terrible. We're the worst. Yeah, we're MAGA extremists. We want to make America great again, extremely, to the extreme. I mean, God forbid us want secure borders and a strong dollar and economy and good jobs and, you know, whew, how horrible are we? We're so extreme. No, but the Democrats, they love identities. They do. It's all about your skin color, and you're not supposed to base things on genders. Male and female. Trust the science. I know, that's wild, let me tell you. But it is a shocking sign in Washington, D.C. I mean, sometimes we're in our office and we actually hear people out there, they don't like the sign so much. Some of them shriek and scream. They take pictures with it. They steal it. It has been stolen so many times. I can't tell you how many times we've remade it. They write on it. They put stickers on it. They attack me because I like Jesus. Do you guys like Jesus? They don't like Jesus. But I have that sign out there. There's only two genders, male and female, and it just is, they can't get enough because they think there's a lot of genders. But here's the deal. No matter what kind of dress a man puts on, even if he goes and he gets breast implants, he may go to a really far extreme and actually, chop it right off. He can have long hair. He can dress and almost, sometimes you're not sure. None of that will ever make a man a woman. Ever. Ever. And then the same thing for women. No woman can ever be a man. We are born, there's two sexes. There's male and female. And the Democrats love to make this an issue. They love it. They love this issue. They love this issue so much that they are supporting children changing their genders. You hear about this. There's the books in schools. There's drag queen story time. There's all of the lies, and it's on social media. And I have a bill I introduced called the Protect Children's Innocence Act. Yeah. And this bill would make it a felony to perform any type of surgery on a child under 18, such as mastectomies, castration, also puberty blockers, hormone treatments, on any child under 18. No child, listen, they can't even vote. They cannot drive a car. They can't join the military. They haven't graduated from high school. They can't buy alcohol. They can't buy tobacco. But yet the Democrat Party supports them going through these surgeries and taking these puberty blockers and hormone treatments, forever changing their bodies. Joe Biden supports it. And we know that guy, what's his name? Dick Levine? Oh, wait, Rachel? I think it's Richard. Dick, right? Oh boy, I better calm it down. Well, there's cameras in here and yeah, it's okay, that's right. He's the one that's really confused. But the Biden administration put him in charge of children's health and so forth. How about that? This is who the Democrat parties are. Thankfully, President Trump, when he is president, he would sign my bill into law. And I can't wait for that. And President Trump believes in protecting kids. We protect kids. Because look, let's be real. We don't care about children. And this country and the Democrats have a really big problem with sexualizing children. And that needs to end. And I want a President Trump will stand up against all of that. Thankfully, and he has said it over and over again. And that's another thing. We have got to protect our kids and never apologize for protecting children. Right? Right. They're our future. Wow. But those Democrats, wow. Party of pedophiles, let me tell you. Yep, everybody agrees with me. The news is absolute garbage. The questions that I get asked sometimes, and it's really funny, let me tell you how this works. And if you remember President Trump's press conferences, same thing. This is how it works. All of a sudden, I'm walking over to go vote up at the Capitol, and I'll be crossing the street and walk over, and here comes the press, and I'll get questions. And ironically, they'll all have the same question. Doesn't matter which one I'm talking to. I'll finish talking to one. Keep going a little bit. Here comes another one. Hi, so-and-so with CNN. Hi, so-and-so with MSNBC. Hi, so-and-so, da-da-da-da. Same question. And I'm like, what do you guys get, like a talking point email in the morning, right? And be like, this is the issue we're going to cover today. See if you can stump Marjorie Taylor Greene on this question. And every time I'm getting one of these questions, and I'm like, gosh, these people are so stupid. Americans don't care about that. Nobody believes that garbage. Look, I tell them all the time, the American people are so smart and they absolutely hate Washington, D.C., and they hate the media for shoving the propaganda and the BS and the garbage down our throats. Am I right? Right. Can you imagine? It's like, why does the media want to do a job where the country hates them? How horrible. And a lot of times, some of these people are really nice. Let me tell you, I like a lot of them, but their editors are complete jerks. They are. It's their editors and the people that are above them that tell them that this is the story they have to write about, or this is the angle they have to take. This is the talking point. And isn't it funny how the talking point always lines up with the Democrat agenda? Gee, how does that happen? But we have free press, don't we? No. No, we don't have free press because we'll use Julian Assange for an example. Nope, no free press there. And he's being extradited to the United States. So the press really, that's an example that they have to look at. Do you think that they want to tell the truth in the media with social media? Not one of them know what that's like. I can tell you right now, I know President Trump very well. He appreciates free speech and our freedoms more than any of you can understand because he is being persecuted, absolutely persecuted for his own speech. And that is a very big reason when you talk to your friends about, well, and DeSantis and blah, 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 Nikki Haley, yada, yada, yada. Let me tell you something. The man you want in the White House fighting to defend your freedoms, fighting to defend your speech, fighting to protect our border, fighting Washington, D.C. that loves war, say, no, we want peace. We do not want to go to war. The only one you can trust is President Trump. That's right. That makes me so angry. Can you imagine our federal government, our president, our Secretary of Homeland has enriched the Mexican cartels while they traffic humans and they traffic children and they traffic drugs and they cause all kinds of problems in our country. It is an invasion every single day at our southern border. And this administration is absolutely complicit. Not only they're complicit, they're responsible for it. They are making it happen. And the numbers do not lie. The numbers from 2020 to 2021 are shocking. Absolutely shocking. The numbers do not lie. And I have to say this, and these are strong words. The Biden administration is committing treason for what they've done at the border. His top issue, border security. What did he say? You do not have a country if you do not have a border. And right now, we have no border. We don't have a border. We have people invading our country from over 160 different countries from around the world. They're coming in from Russia. They're coming in from China. They are coming in from the Middle East. They're coming in from Africa. You can forget it's not just Mexico and Central America anymore. It is all over the world. And why are they coming? Because the Biden administration, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said, the door's open. Come on in. And they are making every single one of you pay for it. They are making you pay for it. And let me tell you, no, you cannot trust DeSantis and especially not Nikki Haley. Oh my gosh. She doesn't even want you to call illegal aliens criminals. How dare you? That might insult the migrants. Unbelievable. No. President Trump will secure our border. President Trump will not only finish the wall, let me tell you what needs to be done to that wall. It needs to be repaired because the wall has fallen into total and utter disrepair. The gates don't open and close. Some of them are stuck. Some of them are stuck shut. Some of them are stuck open. And then we have the Mexican cartels that are literally cutting through it while the Border Patrol is standing right there and they're not allowed to do anything about it. President Trump will not only finish building the wall, he will repair the wall, and he will secure our southern border. And that's exactly what America needs. I am fed up with it. I am fed up with it. Just a few months ago, two of my constituents, two Americans living in Dalton, Georgia, were driving to visit family, and they were in Texas. And both of them were murdered by a 17-year-old trafficking illegals into Texas. They were murdered. Their family didn't get to say goodbye to them. Their family had no opportunity to give them one last hug or kiss. No, they were murdered. Absolutely murdered. And this is happening every single day. Every single day. Now, let me tell you what we're doing about it, because I can't take it. I forced a vote on the House floor before Christmas to impeach Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. And then 8 feckless Republicans voted with Democrats to protect Mayorkas. Yeah, that's right. Then the next week I said, okay, fine, let's do it again. So I brought my resolution back to the floor. And I showed everybody I mean business. I'm not playing around. Because what did I tell you? I'm tired of Republicans not doing anything. Tired of that. I like people of action. I like problem solvers like President Trump. So then I got their attention, and these 8 didn't want to be embarrassed with their vote again, because they were embarrassed. And so I got a promise from our new speaker, Mike Johnson, and I got a promise from Chairman Mark Green of our Committee for Homeland. And let me tell you what is about to happen. We are going to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas, even convict him in the Senate, because he is guilty as sin. But let me tell you, our border is not going to be secure under the Biden administration. It is not. They do not want to secure it. Every Democrat on my committee, they don't care about Americans. They don't care about our national security. They don't care about the amount of terrorists that have come in our country. Oh, no. They care about migrant rights and climate change. I'm not kidding. In case you didn't know, our country's being invaded because of climate change around the world, according to Democrats. That's right. You don't have tornadoes and earthquakes and hurricanes here in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. You have perfect climate, and that's why everyone across the world has got to come invade America. Yeah, climate change. That's right. All right, everybody. No amount of taxes or the Green New Deal is going to fix that. Thank you very much, AOC. It's not going to happen. But let me tell you, here's our issue. So we can impeach Mayorkas. We may just keep impeaching people. That'd be fine with me. I believe in firing people. But guess what? None of it's going to change until we win this election. None of it's going to change. And you know, they all attack President Trump. They say he's mean. Let me tell you, I talk to him all the time. He is the sweetest guy. I'm not kidding. He is so kind and sincere and genuinely sweet. Every time I talk to him, every single time I talk to him, I wish people could hear him talk. You want to know why they say he's mean? Because they're constantly attacking him. And he defends himself, and he defends all of you, and he defends his policies. Oh, but he's mean. Really? Really? He's not mean. Yes, he speaks the truth. He defends the truth. That's not mean. That is not mean. Actually, that's exactly what we need. It's exactly what we need. And I'll tell you something else. In this day and time, with Washington, D.C., as corrupt and disgusting, as pathetic as it is, and with all of our enemies around the world, with China wanting to dominate our economy and take our country over as they are colonizing across the world, with all of the problems we have, with as many terrorists we now have in our country, and you better bet they're here. It's only a matter of time. And with Democrats who claim that they're defending democracy while they're literally putting the Constitution through a paper shredder I want the meanest man I can get in that office defending our Constitution, our country, and our rights. Now, President Trump, he gave us the tax cuts and savings plans, right? It's great. It expires in January of 2025. It expires in January of 2025. I can promise you, if Joe Biden is in the White House, whether he knows it or not, or somebody else is in there, it won't matter. They're all controlled. If the Democrats control the White House, if the Democrats control the House of Representatives and the Senate, and the tax code has to be rewritten in January of 2025, I'm going to tell you right now what they're going to do, because I listen to them all the time with my little ears. Revenue problem. That's right. They think y'all don't give them enough money. And let me tell you the one place they're going to come after. And President Trump already did it. He lowered the death tax. The Democrats are going to raise it. And all of you in here know what that means just as well as I do. They are going to destroy. I mean, we do stuff that in the South. It's, you know, I'm a big Georgia fan. I went to UGA, so SEC football, we all get around, and everybody's got to bring food because that's what you do. I don't know if y'all do that or not. But anyways, I think you ought to make it fun and make it way more fun than those DeSantis and Haley and all those other people. They're going to lose. Let me tell you, they are going to lose. They're going to lose so bad. They're talking like they're going to win. Because I absolutely hate the Democrats in Washington, D.C. Please elect President Trump and let's win Iowa. The most important message is we can trust President Trump. He has a 4-year proven track record, and everyone else is copying his policies. We don't need to go back to the Bush era. We're tired of establishment Republicans. We need to re-elect President Trump. Well, I think Republican voters can look forward to electing President Trump and him winning the primary. Poll after poll is showing President Trump is blowing everyone out of the water, and he's also beating Joe Biden, especially in the swing states. Yes, he has a massive program. A lot of his caucus captains are here tonight. He has the largest number of... Oh, New Hampshire. I love you. I love you. And New Hampshire, I got to tell you something. Tomorrow, America's eyes are watching you. You're going to have the nation's spotlight because you have an incredible job. You're going to end the Republican primary in 2024. Let's go, New Hampshire. Now, I got to tell you guys, there's something we really have to recognize. Under President Trump, I know in Georgia, in my district, gas was $1.75. We could afford heating oil, food, rent, medications. You could afford to buy a house because interest rates were affordable. But now under Joe Biden, people are suffering. The poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer. And this is something we never thought we'd see in America. Under President Trump, we had world peace. Remember that? President Trump brought the Abraham Accords and brought the United States Embassy to Jerusalem. He brought peace to the Middle East. He ended the foreign wars. He defeated ISIS, and the entire world watched in awe as President Trump walked across the DMZ line, hand outreached, and shook hands with Kim Jong-un. And Little Rocket Man stopped launching rockets. Do you remember that? But now, under Joe Biden, we are watching World War III begin to erupt. We are watching a war in Ukraine that's really a proxy war with Russia. Russia continue to be funded as we fight to say stop funding that war, stop defending Ukraine's border, and defend our own border. And we'll never forget what Joe Biden did in Afghanistan. Never forget the 13 soldiers that were murdered that should have never died. Joe Biden brought shame on the military. Under President Trump, he will make America strong again. He will make the United States military strong again. And he will make our entire nation respected among the world again. We've got to bring back President Trump. Under President Trump, there were only 2 genders. Right? Well, we all know there's still just 2 genders, don't we? Male and female, everyone. You can't change it. Under President Trump, DEI were just letters in the alphabet. But now, under Joe Biden, it's real racism, and it's actually affecting many Americans, and we're fed up with it. And now, under Joe Biden, there's more genders than we can keep up with. And they're brainwashing our children, and children are being actually taught that gender is something that they can change, and we're seeing a horrendous practice, and it's genital mutilation of these children. That's something that President Trump will stop. And that's something we know he will do. Under President Trump, our border meant something. We had a strong, secure border. Our Border Patrol agents were working hard, and they loved their jobs because they were allowed to do their jobs. But under Joe Biden, they have been turned into the welcoming committee to the entire world. And this is something that is such a shame. They're down there making sandwiches and welcoming ISIS into our country, welcoming in terrorists from all around the world, welcoming in murderers, child rapists, and people that have been let out of mental institutions. This is not what our country stands for. Well, let me tell you, under President Trump, the first thing that he will do, and I will support him doing, and everyone that stands with him, is we will begin mass deportations, and we will enforce the strongest immigration and border laws in history. Our border will be strong, and it will be defined, and people will obey the law. One more thing that we have to recognize and address is under President Biden, the Department of Justice prosecuted criminals, prosecuted child predators, prosecuted terrorism. But today, under Joe Biden's Department of Justice, it prosecutes you, America, as it prosecutes Donald J. Trump and his team and all of his supporters. This should never happen in America, where people who were defending their free speech and were standing up for election integrity are being jailed and arrested nearly every single day. And the J6 defendants that are being jailed for years and years and years while Antifa and BLM rioters are allowed to go free. We must end the reign of terror of the weaponized government, and President Trump will do that on day one. Now, the most important job you have tomorrow, New Hampshire, is this is a referendum on the Republican Party. And I am counting on you to bring it. We have to end the reign of the establishment rhino Republicans. We will end the reign of the neocons. We will end the uniparty. And that starts in New Hampshire tomorrow. So, New Hampshire, I stand with you in your motto. Live free or die. Live free or die. Live free or die. And let's get the job done for President Trump tomorrow. God bless you, New Hampshire. That's right. We are going to defeat the Democrats. We're going to send Joe Biden back into a retirement home where he belongs. And the most important thing we're going to do Yep. You know, you guys saw that video of Joe Biden when he saw me this week at the State of the Union. This is the hat I had on. There's nothing that scares him worse than a MAGA hat. So I wear mine proudly, and I hope you wear yours proudly. Let's vote for Donald J. Trump. Let's save America.
I want to do another thing because it's a Saturday and, you know, it's boring. There's nothing good on television. We'd rather do this anyway, wouldn't we? So a person who really has, thank you very much, a person who's got tremendous courage, and, you know, some people go after her because they're concerned about her. She's very popular, actually. They know that, but a lot of people don't. But she's a woman that showed herself the other night when the president was so disrespectful to so many millions and millions and millions of people. She was willing to shout out. Now, sometimes you would say that's not nice, but in this case, it was very well needed because we have to shake this country up. This country has to come back, and it's never going to come back unless we have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Please come up. Come. Come on up, Marjorie. Come on.
Thank you, Mr. President. All right, Georgia, we know what we're going to do in 2024. We're going to re-elect our favorite president, the greatest president in United States history, Donald J. Trump. Right, Georgia? Let's get it done.
Keep it going. You got a lot of courage, that one.
Let's go, Nevada! You know, they told me it was going to be hot out here. But you want to know something? I work in the hellhole called Washington, D.C. All you freedom-loving Americans make this feel like a cool day. Well, the reason why I'm here, Nevada, is because my state of Georgia is just like your state. We're a swing state. We're on the verge of being taken over by the Democrats. But are we going to let that happen? Hell no. No, we're fighting. You know, ever since they stole the election in 2020, yeah, they stole it. Do you think they're going to try to steal it again? Yeah, me too. I think they are too. Let me tell you, though, here's our situation. We've got corrupt states like New York. I tell you what, New York should be ashamed, absolutely ashamed. I am especially pissed off at the state of New York, and I'll tell you why. They don't have a justice system. You can't take them seriously. The state of New York, the great New York Police Department, arrested an illegal alien. They had him in there. They arrested him. The justice system of New York refused to prosecute this guy, this monster. Then he came to Georgia and he killed our girl, Laken Riley. So you want to tell me that we're supposed to take the court system in New York serious when they convict President Trump of 34 fake felony counts? No. That's right. It's bullshit. You called it right there. That's not a justice system. Yeah, that's right.
Nevada. That's great. You guys are great. No, it is bullshit. And you want to know something? We aren't going to tolerate it. The Democrats and the fake news media want to constantly talk about, oh, President Trump is a convicted felon. Well, you want to know something? The man that I worship is also a convicted felon. And he was murdered on a Roman cross. We've seen political corruption. We have seen this throughout history. This is nothing new. It's just the first time in American history we have been forced to deal with it. Now, here's how we deal with it, America. Here's how we deal with it, Nevada. You have to tell your friends and family, I'm sorry, friends and family. You have to get over being tired of the drama you see on the news. Because if we do not show up and vote on November 5th, if we do not bring all of our friends and family out, the drama that everyone is sick and tired of is going to get worse. Because I work with the Democrats. I listen to them every single day. They're going to raise your taxes. They're going to destroy generational wealth. That's right, you're going to be broke. And you think gas prices are high now? Just wait until you're forced to drive an electric vehicle. Exactly. Yes. Y'all may become my favorite place to go. America is sick of it. And then this illegal invasion. Here's another problem. We've got everybody in Washington, D.C. all up in a roar about every other foreign country and their foreign wars and their foreign borders. But we have a war on our own border. And it's being waged by the Mexican cartels. But we have the cowards in Washington that refuse to acknowledge this. And Joe Biden is claiming he's doing something about border security. He's a liar. Well, we know what the theme of the Biden administration is, and it's been chanted here today. Bullshit. Okay, Nevada. Okay, so here's how we clean up the bullshit. On November 5th, get everybody you know to vote for my favorite president, Donald John Trump. Let's go. Oh, Georgia. This is home sweet home. This is home. I love you. I love every single one of you. I tell you what, this feels like a room full of friends and family. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. And Georgia, I really want to talk to you about the serious mission that all of us are on together. This has nothing to do with our skin color, our gender, our politics. It has nothing to do with any of that. This is about our mission with our home state, because let me tell you all, the road to the White House goes directly through the state of Georgia. And our mission is clear. We remember back in 2016 when Donald Trump stepped on the stage in the Republican primary election, and he took a sledgehammer to the Washington establishment. And the crime he really committed in 2016 was defeating Hillary Clinton. And the deep state and the globalists and the Washington elite, they have been after him ever since. They've come after that man with lie after lie, smear after smear, from the Russia hoax to impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2. They came after President Trump. And then our election, Georgia, was stolen from us. That's right. Right down the road from here with a water main break. That's right. And then it all changed. And we watched the Democrats shut this country down and destroy our freedoms over a virus that came from China. We watched the Democrats, Kamala Harris herself, support riots in city streets across America, burning, looting, and taking away the rights from Americans. Kamala Harris shared a bail bond link to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to put criminal rioters back on the streets that murdered and looted and caused chaos. That's right. And we've seen Kamala Harris stand side by side with Joe Biden, the dementia-ridden president, and we've watched them destroy America for nearly 4 years now. This is a shame. Today in America, senior citizens are struggling between paying their rent and buying their medications. Today in America, young people are having to face the very idea they may never be able to afford a new home or the American dream. Today in America, there's a steady invasion at the southern border every single day, and 10 to 20 million of illegal aliens have been brought into this country, and you, the American taxpayer, are being forced to pay for it. That's right. And innocent Americans like Laken Riley, but Laken Riley's not the only one. She is the face of here in Georgia, but Americans all over the country are the victim of illegal alien crimes, rape, murder, and mayhem, and fentanyl poisonings. This is Kamala Harris's America. We have lived it for nearly 4 years. This is what the Democrats are doing to us. And you know what? The self-declared fourth branch of the government, the legacy media, what are they doing? They are lying about everything. They promote their candidates. They promote the destruction of America through Democrat policies, and they use their powerful platforms to do it. Are we going to allow this to continue? The real danger we face is this. The Democrats are the party destroying democracy. They waged a coup against Joe Biden, and then they held a coronation for Kamala Harris and declared her the Democrat candidate for president. And not a single Democrat voter has voted for this to happen. But here's our job, Georgia. Pay close attention. Pay close attention. You know, we've had an easy life. We have for decades now. It's been easy to check out, go to work, enjoy your life, do normal, regular people things.
But let me inform you of something tough. We don't have that convenience anymore. Georgia, I'm going to tell you something. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's right. Our freedoms, our democracy, our great republic is that weight and responsibility is on our shoulders. That responsibility belongs to this generation. And that means what our responsibility is, Georgia, is we have to show up. You have to have those tough conversations with your friends, your family members, your coworkers, your neighbors. You have to convince them to vote, because I have a little dirty secret to tell you. We have too many people in Georgia that are conservatives, they're MAGA, they're Trump supporters, they're Republicans, but guess what they don't do? They don't vote. They do not vote. Let me tell you, President Trump not only has given up an incredibly extraordinary life that he created for himself and his family. He was our president for 4 years. He has been fighting for the past nearly 4 years to come back to save America. And President Trump, that's right. But not only has he been doing this, all of this for you, he took a bullet for you. He took a bullet for you, and in that moment, we found out who Donald Trump is. Was he a man that stayed on the ground and allowed himself to be swept away under the cover? No. Donald Trump stood up, raised his fist in the air, and he said, fight, fight, fight. And Georgia, that's what we will do. All the way to the election on November 5th, we will fight, 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 fight. That's right. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Every single one of you that has a cell phone in this room, every single person watching right now, go to the website, TrumpForce47.com. TrumpForce47.com. It is your responsibility, everyone in this room, it is your responsibility watching this rally right now to find a way to sign up, find a way to protect our elections in Georgia, find a way to be a Trump captain, find a way to volunteer. It's your job, your responsibility, because the road to the White House goes straight through Georgia, and we're going to win. We're going to fight. We're going to save America. I love you too. Thank you so much. So today, I went and cast my ballot for Donald J. Trump. And I know many of you did too. I met so many of you coming in, and you had your stickers on. I just voted, and it was such a pleasure to meet many of my constituents here in the rally today. I thank you so much for voting for Donald Trump, and I thank you for voting for me. It's my honor to serve you in Congress. Now let's dial this in to what this election is all about. It's not white versus black. It's not the right versus the left. It's not man versus woman. It's not rich versus poor. It is the federal government versus you. And you want to know, that's why they hate Donald Trump, because he gets it. He got it when he ran for president in 2016. And the biggest crime he ever committed was beating Hillary Clinton. We know what that was all about. Hillary Clinton was supposed to finish what Barack Obama started. They stacked the government, all the agencies and the departments with the resistance, and they're still there. And they stayed there during President Trump's 4 years of Make America Great Again. And we loved his presidency, didn't we? But they hated him because he stood for all of you. He stood for us. And look at what they did to him. But look at what he exposed. They came after him with the Russia hoax, lie after lie after lie, based on a political hit piece written by Christopher Steele, paid for by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and the Democrats. They took that and they impeached President Trump, unbelievably impeached him. They came after his family. They came after his staff. They lied about him constantly every single day in the media. They attacked him constantly, and the people stood beside him and stood behind him because we know the truth. And as a result of everything that's happened, and there has been a tremendous amount, we went through a stolen election in 2020. Oh, we're not going to do that again, are we? No. Mm-mm. We lived through COVID, a man-made virus that came from Wuhan, China, that the Democrats used against you, forced you to wear a mask and take a vaccine that you didn't want in order to keep your job. That's right. They're still trying to tell you to take that vaccine. But then they took away your First Amendment. They censored you on social media and took you off because you said the election was stolen, or you said, I'm not wearing a mask, or you said, I don't want to take a experimental vaccine and put that in my body. So they took you off of social media. Then they took away people's religious freedom because of COVID. And they took away so many of your freedoms. Never forget this. Never forget this. But then it got worse. Then the Biden administration weaponized the FBI and the Department of Justice against President Trump, his staff, his supporters, parents that wanted to hold their school boards accountable, because guess what? Parents run the schools, not the school board. Pro-life protesters, the bravest people in the country that stand in front of an abortion clinic praying for these women to save their baby, to keep their baby, to be a mother. The greatest blessing God has bestowed on women is motherhood. That's right. And I'm here to tell you today, an abortion is not reproductive rights. It is murder, and it's killing a baby. That's right. That's right. They lie to women. Oh, they lie to women, and it's disgusting. But these pro-life protesters are in prison today because they prayed for these women and prayed for these babies. And the Department of Justice didn't stop there. No, they didn't stop there. They put Peter Navarro in prison for 4 months. And you want to know what? Steve Bannon gets out of prison in 2 weeks. Yeah. I bet everybody's watching War Room on that day. He's going to bring it. You know he is. I can't wait for it. But think about where we are. Think about where we are, what they did in Afghanistan, how they treated our military, how they still treat our military, how they prioritize foreign wars, and all your hard-earned tax dollars over defending and securing our own border. That is treason against the American people. That's right. But let's go a step further. Lahaina, East Palestine, Western North Carolina. I'm telling you, there is anger in this country that is unspeakable over how the Biden-Harris administration has thrown away these Americans as if their lives do not matter, as if their tax dollars never mattered, and treated them so that they're only worth 750 measly bucks. Yeah, that's right. Oh, but Congress will write that check for $60 billion over and over again for Ukraine, won't they? Yep, they will. Let me tell you, I see a sign right there, FEMA denied my $750. How about that? There's somebody right there. Look, that's what you guys need to realize. See that sign? You see her right there? She was denied by the Biden-Harris administration $750 sorry dollars. Yeah. So let me tell you what is happening in Georgia. Let me tell you what is happening across this country. People are taking that anger. People are taking how fed up and disgusted they are with our stupid government that treats Americans like Americans are nothing. And they are marching into the elections this year. And voting started today. Early voting started today in Georgia. That's right. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm doing everything I can with every cell in my body. But I am counting on all of you. I hope you are as pissed off and fed up as I am. It's about time. You should be. Here's what Georgia is doing, and here's what we've learned. I've got one message for the media. You people have totally discredited yourselves. Yeah. And it's sad. I really think it's sad because I actually have a lot of respect for the press, and I think a free press is extremely important to our country. I do. I believe that. But how you people have treated the American people like they're stupid is the dumbest thing you could ever do. It's true. Don't tell these people right here what they should think, what they should feel, and what they should do. Because the American people are far smarter than you give them credit. And they're sick and tired of you. So Georgia and the rest of America, if you're watching, let's win this election on November 5th for Donald Trump. Let's go. Hi, everyone. Jesus is Lord. Christ is King. You're not at the wrong rally if you believe that. We will not kick you out if you believe in God. As a matter of fact, you're in the right place. I I came all the way from Georgia because I believe you all are so important in this election. As a matter of fact, I got on an airplane last night. I fought through about 3 hours of Atlanta traffic trying to get to the airport. Flying up here, I had to take two different airplanes, and I thought the whole way, this is worth it. And it's worth it because I've been campaigning on the ground every single day in my home state of Georgia. You see, we're a swing state, just like you are. And our Georgia votes are very important, and your votes are very important. As a matter of fact, your votes, every single one of you in this room, all the students here at Penn State, all of you in this county, in the borough of State College, you could swing the election. Do you understand that? Now let's talk about why. For the past 12 years, 12 out of the past 16 years, Democrats have been in control of this country. If you're 20 years old and you're sitting in this room today, most of your life, Democrats have been controlling this country. But President Trump was president for 4 years. And I want you to know that on Election Day in 2020, gas prices in my hometown were $1.75. Can you imagine that? But let's talk about the past 16 years, 12 of those years. Let's do a little history lesson, everyone. The biggest sin Donald Trump ever committed was beating Hillary Clinton. You see, she was never supposed to lose. As a matter of fact, she was set up to win. She was so set up to win, they cheated the election from Bernie Sanders. Do you know that? Look it up. Bernie Sanders was a populist. He was so popular during that Democrat primary, the actual Democrat machine was terrified. The DCCC was broke. They were bankrupt. They were down by millions and millions of dollars, and Hillary Clinton's campaign came in and loaned the DCCC millions of dollars and propped them up. Bernie Sanders never had a chance. You see, Democrats have been stealing elections for a long, long time. Long time. And you want to know something? They care about elections too, because when they think their elections are stolen, they say so. And that's what Hillary Clinton said in 2016. That's also what Stacey Abrams said when she lost Georgia twice. But then President Trump became president in 2017. And guess what happened? On his inauguration day, Democrats came out to the streets and they nearly burned down Washington, D.C. If you're a college student in this room, you might not even know that. Look it up. Those pictures are absolutely terrifying. They set Washington, D.C. on fire. Wait a minute. Isn't that called an insurrection or something like that? Oh, yes, the party that's defending democracy. They hated Donald Trump so much they were ready to burn down our Capitol for it. And then it carried on. Throughout his presidency, we saw Antifa. We saw them occupy in Portland, Oregon. We saw them take over, attack federal courthouses, attack police officers. And then the summer of 2020, night after night, every single night, the entire summer, Democrat activists, Antifa, and violent BLM rioters nearly burned down communities all across America. Remember? Don't you ever forget it. They caused over $2 billion in damages. They attacked police officers every single night. They burned over 93 police vehicles. They attacked federal courthouses. They tore down monuments. They attacked police stations. And they attacked, if you had on a red MAGA hat, they attacked you. That happened every single night, not just one day on January 6th. This is something you should never forget. And let's talk about COVID. Never forget, and if you're a college student, Your social life got completely destroyed. You lost your part-time job. Your school was shut down. Beaches were closed in this country. Parks were closed. Skate parks were closed. Playgrounds were closed. There were churches that were closed. And you lost your First Amendment right, free speech, if you complained about it on social media. That's right. And that happened under Democrat control. They shut down our country. Yes, it is communist. It was tyranny. And if you're a young person today, you lived through that. And Republicans, we would have never done that to you. Donald Trump would not have done that to you. And when it came to the COVID vaccine, many of you were forced to take it. But President Trump and Republicans, we believe in freedom. We believe in your right. We believe in your right to say no to vaccines. And you should always have that right. And we believe in your right to say no to wearing a mask. As a matter of fact, when I refused to wear a mask on the House floor, I was fined by Nancy Pelosi over $100,000. But I did it anyway. You see, if you're a young person in here today, you have to understand what we are voting for. Under President Trump, he ended the foreign wars. We had world peace. That was something truly incredible. But what we've had for the past 4 years is we are watching every single month we get closer and closer to World War III. And that's something that none of us want. Under President Trump, under the last 4 years, Kamala Harris has let in over 12 million illegal aliens. It's actually higher than that. There are over 2 million gotaways that were never stopped by Border Patrol, never stopped by ICE, and no one knows who they are, where they are, and what they're going to do in this country. That is America today under Kamala Harris. We have people that have been killed. Did you know on average an American citizen is killed almost every single day from an illegal alien crime? These people shouldn't even be here. And the fentanyl deaths, 300 a day. You think about that. That's like a jetliner falling from the sky and every single person dying on board that plane. And that shouldn't be happening. Look at our economy. Young people today, for the first time in their lives, have no hope for the future. They're not even sure if they'll ever be able to buy a home. You have no idea if you'll be able to afford groceries or rent. That should never happen. Young people should be the most hopeful among us. We have food problems today. Who wants healthy food in this room? Right. Of course you do. We want healthy food. We want farmers to be able to survive in America, and farmers are going out of business. And vaccines, you know, we're really concerned about what vaccines may be doing to children. And it's not a crime to say that. We should be saying this. But the real issue today is what the media has done and what the messaging has been against the American people. The reality is, it's not black versus white. It's not rich versus poor. It's not man versus woman. You know what it really has become? It's become the state versus you. And that's the most dangerous thing that could ever happen. We have an opportunity. You have an opportunity. Every single one of you in this room, here's what you can vote for. If you vote for Donald Trump, you will be going against the machine. You will be fighting against the system. You'll be doing what young people used to be so brave to do, but for some reason, young people have been brainwashed. Absolutely brainwashed. But young people today, you can actually save our future because it's your votes that can swing this election. And you'll be voting for a future that every single one of us want to have. A future of secured borders, where we actually protect all 50 states and stop the invasion into America. You can vote for a future where our tax system is fair for Americans. No tax on tips, no tax on overtimes, no tax on Social Security benefits for seniors. Yeah. You can vote for a future where we destroy the Green New Deal. It's a scam. And you can vote for a future where we end the foreign wars and your hard-earned money stops being sent overseas to murder people you've never met, to fight wars that we have no part of. And we keep your hard-earned money right here at home, because every single one of us know the federal government and Congress has spent far too much of your money, over $35 trillion in debt. How pathetic is that? It's pathetic. But your vote today, I'm telling you, you have a chance. And here's something that I can't fathom. I cannot fathom people sitting this one out. I cannot fathom if you're an American and you do not like the way that our country is going, you do not like the way the future looks ahead, I can't fathom you sitting it out. Look, we can't control the battlefield that we're fighting on. We can't control the rules on the playing field. Because I can tell you right now, if I could, we'd be voting with paper ballots, and every single person would have to show an ID. Now, while that is the ultimate goal, you have a duty, you have a responsibility as an American, you have a job to do, and that is to vote in this election. It doesn't matter what you think about the system, you still have to vote, because if you don't vote and you sit it out, you're allowing everything to continue to go on that you don't like. You allow it. But if you get in, you cast your vote, you are taking part. You are saying, I'm giving it all I've got, I'm trying. You have a job to be a poll watcher. You have a job to be a volunteer. You have a job to be a door knocker. You have a job to make phone calls, text your friends. But let me tell you the people you really need to talk to. It's your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers that you know are saying they're not going to vote. Those are the people that all of you in this room need to have those hard conversations with. I'm serious. It may be an uncomfortable conversation, but you have a responsibility to have that hard conversation. Because let me tell you something. I work with Democrats every single day in Washington. I know for a fact what they say. I know exactly what their plans are. I know what they want to do to this country. And I'm fighting as hard as possible. President Trump has been fighting for years. And I can tell you right now, if you sit it out, if you refuse to vote, if you don't take the time to do it, and you don't have those hard conversations, we can't do our jobs. And we can't pass the critical bills that we have to pass. And we can't make this country great again. And that's all we're trying to do. President Trump has been attacked for years. President Trump has been lied about. You know how they talk about his rhetoric? Let's talk about rhetoric. Kamala Harris is calling him Hitler. Democrats and people on the media have been calling him a Nazi and Hitler and a threat to our democracy. Not only have they slandered and lied about him, they have indicted him, they arrested him, they impeached him twice, they have tried to bankrupt him, destroy his company, destroy his family. They have locked up his supporters. They locked up election protesters while they let BLM violent rioters go free. Think about that. That's right. They say that he will weaponize the government against the American people.
The only regime that has weaponized the government has been the Biden-Kamala Harris regime that is in power right now. You talk about a true threat to democracy, those are the people in the White House. It's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a successful businessman. He's a father, a grandfather, and he's a friend to many. He's a great American that has spent his entire life helping people, and there are far too many stories for me to even tell you today of all the people he has helped. He is genuinely one of the nicest people I know, and I talk to him very often. Donald Trump doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to, but he is doing it because he loves this country, and he sincerely cares about every single one of you. That's right. We have an opportunity, Pennsylvania. So my ask to you is, while we are fighting as hard as possible in Georgia, I'm asking you to fight as hard as you can in Pennsylvania. I'm asking you to get out there and vote. I'm asking you to vote so that bills like my bill to stop the gender industrial complex that is targeting our kids, my Protect Children's Innocence Act, can pass and become law. I'm asking you to vote so that parents have rights over their child's education and over the school boards. I'm asking you to vote with me. I've already voted. I have. I got that done on early voting day. So listen, this is something that we can do together, and we can honestly save this country. I'm telling you, it can happen. I believe it. I believe in every single one of you. Thank you. God bless you.
Oh, I love you too so much. Georgia, sweet Georgia, this is our home. This is our home. That's right. As a matter of fact, I was born in Milledgeville, and I was a little girl in Macon, Georgia. We need to talk about our history a little bit. Let's talk about it. For the past 8 years, we have been through so much together. It's been quite a ride. And Donald Trump, our former president, 45th president of the United States, has brought us on this ride. And it's important to recognize it. For years, the media and the Democrats have called him every name in the book. And they've called us every name in the book along with him. Never forget, it was Hillary Clinton that declared we were all deplorable. And then they moved forward and they called us Nazis, and Kamala Harris called us Nazis. She called these rallies Nazis. Now, as the media and the Democrats have tried to tell America who Donald Trump is, we know exactly who he is because he was our president for 4 years. You can't lie to us. You can't lie. And you want to know what else you can't lie about? You can't lie to us about who Kamala Harris is either. We know exactly who she is. So we have two candidates, and let's talk about the past 4 years that we have been through. Never forget, it was the Democrats that shut this country down during COVID. Never forget, it was the Democrats who hurt people's speech. Free speech, they took it away. They shut down churches. They shut down beaches. They shut down playgrounds. They kept schools closed. If you're someone in this audience tonight and it's your first time voting, you lost prom, you lost your graduation, you probably lost your part-time job,
your sports and your activities were shut down. And that happened through Democrats. And it should have never happened. But moving forward, let's talk about what they did with full Democrat control in Washington, D.C. Under Joe Biden, under Kamala Harris, under Democrats controlling Washington. They passed some of the most horrific bills that I had to vote no on. As they lecture America about supposedly women's reproductive rights, I want you to know that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats passed a bill in the House twice that would legalize abortion to the day of birth. That is not a reproductive right. They are the party of radical, barbaric baby murder. That's right. This is not a party that's pro-women. This is a party that celebrates and promotes men pretending to be women coming into our bathrooms and our daughters' sports. This is not a party that is pro-women. As a matter of fact, this is a party that is destructive for women. And they have lied and lied to women in America, and it's wrong. And the right thing that we can do is to stand up for women. Because when we're standing up for women, we are protecting our women's sports. We are protecting our daughters from the lies of the left and protecting our sons. And the most important lie we have to protect our children from is the lie that you can change your gender to something else. These are the lies of the left, and these are the lies that they have told for the past 4 years. Now, I want you to imagine going forward if Kamala Harris were to become president of the United States. We would go forward in an America where you can better bet that trans men will become a permanent fixture in women's sports. We will go forward in an America under Kamala Harris's Department of Education where they would brainwash children to believe they can change their gender in every school in America. We would go forward in our country with wide open borders where under borders are Kamala Harris, they've already brought in tens of millions of people, tens of millions that have murdered Americans. Think of this. Think of this. The Democrats in New York City went in and raided a home to kill a squirrel. They did, to kill a squirrel. Yet it was the same state of New York that let the criminal illegal alien go that came to Georgia that murdered our very own Laken Riley. That's who the Democrats are. Now, if we go forward in America under Kamala Harris as president, she's going to give amnesty and citizenship to all of these illegal aliens that she has let into this country. And I want you to understand what that will do to us. See, it's not just people coming in to try to live their American dream. The American dream that we should be fighting for is your American dream. And that's exactly what President Trump is going to do. But we have to do this on Tuesday. If we don't convince the people that still may not want to vote, if we do not convince them to go in on Tuesday and cast their vote for President Trump, then we are looking at a future that looks very dark, a future of wide open borders, a future of economic disaster, a future of high taxes, that includes World War III. And you have to always remember it was President Trump who brought world peace. They can't lie about that no matter how hard they try. Now, my fellow Georgians and friends and family who are here today, we have been on this MAGA train for a long time, since 2016. And here we are, we're seeing it come to an end, and I know many of you in the audience tonight feel emotional about that, just as I do. My first Trump rally was right here in Macon, Georgia. It was. Years ago, and I can't believe that my last Trump rally on the campaign trail is right here in Macon, Georgia. But here's the message that you all need to understand. This is not the end. It's not the end. You see, President Trump is the father of our movement. He's the founding father of Make America Great Again. He's the founding father of America First policies that have turned the entire country and the world's focus back to how we should be governing. And we have a responsibility, at least my generation of politicians do, and so do many of my colleagues. You see, along with President Trump, when we elect him on Tuesday and put him back in the White House, right? We have a great responsibility to pick up this mantle along with him and carry it forward. This may be the last Trump rally in Georgia of this campaign cycle, but this is not the end of the MAGA movement. Oh no, this is only the beginning. And that's exactly what the Democrats and the media that hate us need to understand. We aren't going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. And here's the message that really needs to be understood across the aisle, is no matter the nasty names you call us, no matter how much you look down on us, no matter how much you want to lock us up and put us in jail, here's something you need to remember. You see, we're your brothers and sisters, your daughters and sons, your mothers and fathers, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles. We're your friends and your neighbors. And shame on every single one of you for treating us the way you have treated us for the past 8 years. We are not garbage. We are not Nazis. We are not fascist. We are not deplorable. We're Americans, and we love our country, and we love our fellow Americans. And we want the Democrats, the left, the media, and those that have been against us for all these years, we want them to understand something. You may hate the man that we support and we're voting for on Tuesday, but you need to remember to treat us with respect. You do. You need to treat us with respect. And our message back to you is this. You need to remember to love the country just like we do. And we need to fight for it together. Fight. You see, it wasn't too long ago, it was just a few months ago. Think about that. July 13th, President Trump was shot in the face in Butler, Pennsylvania. That should have never happened. He was impeached twice. That should have never happened. They've investigated him, they've indicted him, and they arrested him and locked him up in Fulton County. None of these things should have happened. No, none of them should have happened. And there's other things that shouldn't have happened to Americans. January 6, 2021 was not an insurrection. And there's people that have been locked up or still being prosecuted, have been put in prison for years. And the way our federal government has treated them is some of the worst things I've ever seen in my lifetime. They never did this to the violent BLM and Antifa protesters, did they? Rioters. No, they didn't. It's a hypocrisy that should never be forgotten. So as you go to the polls on Tuesday, I want you to carry this with you. Your government should never become tyrannical and lock you down, force you to take a vaccine, muzzle you with a mask. Your government should never become tyrannical to take away your rights and your freedoms. Your government should never become tyrannical to lock up people because they protested an election, because the elections belong to the American people. So on Tuesday, Georgia, let's vote for Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Wow, it's so great to be here. Look at this flag, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that beautiful American flag. Here we are right here in Lindale. We are so happy and so proud to host our vice presidential candidate, Senator J.D. Vance. Let's recognize where we stand today, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at the Lindale Mill. This mill represents everything that's happened to America in the past 100 years. America was once a land of opportunity and greatness. Our land here in Northwest Georgia, where so much manufacturing of textiles and many other American-made goods, our jobs and our goods and our ability to produce and export goods across the world was sold out by the America Last policies of Washington, D.C. And here we stand with this mill. This is like a skeleton representing the America Last policies that are littered not only all over Northwest Georgia, but all over rural America. President Trump and J.D. Vance and the Make America Great Again movement represents the policies that Americans support in order to bring back American greatness, bring back the power of the American worker, and bring back and build an American economy that makes all of us proud and reminds the world exactly of who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something coming on November 5th, and early voting starts on October 15th. Election day is November 5th, and we have a job to do. We have a very important job to do. I'm going to tell you something about our area. We have a problem, and it's talked about among the political circles. They call it the Northwest Georgia problem. And our problem is just what my future colleague, Brian Jack, was talking about, is our people don't turn out to vote. Now, let me tell you the consequences of that. While we have such great lives here in Northwest Georgia, and it's easy to turn off the TV and forget about the ridiculous drama and the failures in Washington, all the corruption and the crime and the abuse, it's easy to turn it off and forget because we live such great lives here. But if you turn off the TV and you decide that you don't want to participate in this election, you're going to be a part of the very problem that we are trying to fix. You see, November 5th is not your ordinary election. This is our opportunity to take our country back. Let me give you a few reasons why we need to take our country back. Since the Biden-Harris administration has taken office, I want you to know, and you know it well because just like me, you know people that have been affected by this. Just in our district alone, just in the 14th district, our counties have watched fentanyl murders, and their murders, they have increased by over 350% in the past 4 years. That's a direct result of the border czar, Kamala Harris, ripping open our borders for an illegal invasion of people all over the world and drugs that are murdering our people.
I'll give you a few more examples. Coming up on 1 year here in November, a wonderful couple, legal immigrants, by the way, that lived up in Dalton, Jose and Isabel Lerma, were murdered by a cartel member that was trafficking people across the Texas state line from Mexico when his car hit theirs and killed them. Those are people from Northwest Georgia that were killed by an illegal, a cartel member. And then just recently in September, tragically, Kadrian Harris and Malik Henderson were struck by an illegal alien that didn't have a driver's license and was driving over 100 miles an hour. That happened right here in Rome, Georgia. And now there are children left without parents today. These are the direct results of the illegal invasion that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have brought on our country. These are the consequences. And we can fix this problem. Not only the illegal invasion of people from all over the world, over 2 million gotaways, terrorists literally in our country right now, but we can also elect President Trump and J.D. Vance right into Washington, D.C. and the White House that will sign the legislation that I sponsor on the House floor. Important bills, like bills to secure our border, bills to stop the transgender agenda on our children, bills to keep the men out of our women's sports, an extremely important tax legislation because the current tax code expires this year. And whoever is holding the House of Representatives, whoever is in the White House, will sign the next law. And let me tell you something. Democrats don't believe we have a revenue problem in Washington. They really want to increase the revenue so they can spend more of your money. These are the consequences of not voting. So listen up. We have a short time left. And there's something I know about all of you because I talk to you so often, and many of you I know personally. You aren't going to sit on the sidelines and let America go to hell. You're going to step up, and you're going to step on the battlefield, and you're going to make sure that Northwest Georgia turns out the vote for President Trump and J.D. Vance, and let's take our country back.